What's up, guys? It's your boy, the man, the myth, the legend, Pickdroppers, back at it again with a 2K17 video. Now, in this video, I am the Golden State Warriors, and Tyrone is the Oklahoma City Thunder. And this is going to be Kevin Durant's reunion. And in case you guys didn't know, Tyrone is a diehard Celtics fan, and he was pretty pissed when KD left and decided to go to the Warriors, because in his mind, he thought for sure that KD would go to the Celtics. And I think KD going to the Celtics was probably his second or third decision, maybe behind him staying. I'm not sure, but he was definitely pretty mad that KD chose to go to the Warriors. And now he hates KD. It's probably his least favorite player in the NBA. And in case you guys didn't know, tomorrow, Tuesday, the October 25th, is going to be the first slate of NBA games. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I am definitely excited and mad. So, the excited part for me is it's the first day of NBA games. Now, nothing really makes me or Tyrone happier than every day getting to watch an NBA game, obviously except for the All-Star break, but every day being able to watch an NBA game. And it's going to start tomorrow. But I'm also a huge baseball fan. And so tomorrow, instead of watching the first game of the year in the NBA, I'm actually going to be watching the first game of the World Series. And the timing wasn't too perfect, because Cleveland's trying to win its first championship. The Indians are trying to win their first championship in, I think, like 67 years or something. And in case you guys didn't know, LeBron James is a diehard Cleveland Indians fan. He loves them. He went to all their playoff games this year. And what sucks for him is he's not going to be able to go, and it's a home game because Cleveland is playing New York. Now, I don't know if he's going to be able to get to Wednesday's game, because that's also in Cleveland. And he has no game tomorrow. And he also has no game Thursday. So he might be able to go to that game. And then he'll travel to Toronto, because that's where his next game is. I'm not sure. I think he will. But it definitely sucks for fans like him. And in case you guys didn't know, my favorite NBA team is the Wizards. And the reason that is because Pittsburgh doesn't have a home team, and so I pick Washington because I love all Pittsburgh and Washington teams, and Pittsburgh sadly doesn't have any teams. The only team near them is Philadelphia, the 76ers. There's two reasons why I don't like them. One, in a couple of other sports, Philadelphia is our rivals, so I can't pick a rival team. And then also, Philadelphia 76ers are trash, and I don't want to pick a trash team. Not a bandwagon, but, I mean, come on. It's the 76ers. They don't even really count as a team. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about the most interesting games for the next upcoming week. Now, the first game I'm very interested in from the first day of NBA games on Tuesday is the Golden State versus San Antonio game. Now, this is really going to show me if San Antonio is still a pretty good defensive team and still will be able to work without their old guys. Now, I do think it will be a pretty good game, but I think Golden State will pull away in the end. And I think San Antonio won't be able to score enough points. I think their defense will definitely play good, and it's definitely going to be interesting to see how the Warriors are able to play with all the different players, because not many of them were on the team last year, and or not many of the players on San Antonio were there last year, so it'd be interesting to see that. But also for Golden State, Kevin Durant wasn't on the team last year, so it's definitely going to be interesting to see how he plays and if he's able to explode on offense and on defense. Now, next game I'm very interested for is for the Wednesday slate of games. is actually going to be Boston versus the Brooklyn Nets. Now, obviously, Brooklyn, I want to see if their team is the worst team in the league, truly the worst team in the league. Now, Wednesday's games are definitely not too good. There's not many close games. The closest game is probably going to be maybe Toronto, Detroit, or Indiana, Dallas, or maybe Miami, Orlando. But I definitely want to see how Boston plays. And I want to see after Cleveland plays the day before, if Boston's really looking like a good team. Because Boston's really the only good contender against LeBron James for the East. And I think the Knicks might also be pretty good, but I don't think they will be able to pull out in the stretch. And I think Derrick Rose is he's had too many injuries in his past, and I don't think he'll be healthy enough to be able to win the East. And I definitely want to see how Boston plays. Not really too much Brooklyn, because Brooklyn is supposed to be one of, if not the worst teams in the NFL or in the NBA this upcoming year. So I'm not really interested in how they play, but I am pretty interested in how Boston plays. Now, the next game that I'm very interested in on Thursday is actually also the Boston game. Boston versus Chicago. Now, this game, I want to see how Chicago plays with Dwayne Wade, Jimmy Butler. They have a pretty good team. Their team's not too bad. I definitely like their team. They also have Rajon. He's going to be playing against Boston again. This time he's on the Bulls instead of being on the Mavericks. Michael Carter-Williams also came over. They also have Taj Gibson, Robert Lopez. I want to see how Denzel Valentine's going to play. He just came out of what's it called? Came out of Michigan State. That's it. Michigan State. I also want to see how Doug McDermott's going to play. Second year in the NBA. Came out of, dang it, I keep forgetting where these players came out. Duke. And I want to see how they're all playing together. I think that could be one of the top 4 teams. I think top 4 this year will be in order: Cleveland, Boston, Chicago, New York. I think they'll all play really, really well. And I definitely want to see how the defenses play and how the offenses play in that game. Now, on Friday, the most interesting game for me is going to be Toronto-Cleveland. Now, Toronto is another team I think could be top 4. Now, they're usually up there, top 2, top 3 the past couple of years. Especially last year, they were only 1 game behind Cleveland. And if Toronto's able to win that game, it's definitely going to show how good they are and what they're going to do, and if they're going to be able to win the East. Because I think if they win the East, they have a really good chance of coming and winning the Eastern Conference. Because last year, they were able to win. They won both their home games, and Cleveland won all of their home games. Now, I do think Cleveland is the better team, and I do think they will have the better record. I think Toronto will slip up this year. I think the competition's going to be too much. But I do think it's definitely going to be interesting to see in this game how DeMar DeRozan is going to play, and Kyle Lowry. 2 really, really good players. And Patrick Peterson came up huge last year in the playoffs. See if he plays with Justin Valanciunas. Definitely going to be very interesting to see Valanciunas at the 5. You have Patrick Peterson at the 4. At the 3, you probably have DeRozan. You either have him at the 3 or the 2. You have Kyle Lowry at the 1. You probably put DeMar Carroll at the 3. And that's probably how you run it. And that's definitely a scary team. I see them top 5. I see them around 5. But I could see them around 3-2, though. If they go on a really nice streak, and I'm definitely going to be interested to see how that game goes. I want to see how LeBron's going to be able to play against that defense. That defense is looking really good. I really want to see how they're able to play, especially with Peterson and Valanciunas. That's going to be huge to slow them down as big men, and they're definitely going to be able to get some blocks and get a lot of rebounds. And that's definitely going to be huge this upcoming year for that team. Now, on Saturday, also not too many great games. Cleveland will be coming back to Cleveland to play on that Saturday night. But not too many interesting games. The one game that kind of stands out is probably, I don't know, it's not too many good games. Maybe Minnesota, Sacramento. I definitely want to see how Minnesota is going to be able to do this year. Definitely a very interesting team. In the preseason, they did pretty well. They went 5-2, not too bad. They have some okay players. Zach LaVine coming into his third year or fourth year, I don't remember. You also have Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins. Lastly, you have Ricky Rubio. Definitely great starting four. Well, not great, but okay starting four. I think they could be 7 or 8 in the West. I really do. I think they're a really good team. I think all they need is Zach LaVine to really step up and control that guard position. Definitely play really big. Definitely going to be huge for that team's success. But definitely a really good team all around. Definitely going to be exciting to see how they play. I'm not too much interested in the Kings. They're not looking too good this year. They don't have any really big name players besides DeMarcus Cousins. It's just not looking too good of a team. You need some guards. And I don't trust Rudy Gay. I don't trust him as a starter. I don't trust Matt Barnes. I think he's getting a little old. I don't trust Aaron Aflalo. Just not players I really trust in, and I think they will miss out on the playoffs this year. I just don't trust them at all. And I don't think they'll be able to get to the victory. Now on Sunday, definitely very interesting set of games. Definitely going to be looking forward to these games. The biggest game that I'm looking at right now is probably San Antonio, Miami. Now, these are two teams that I've already mentioned. Great players up and down the court. LaMarcus Aldridge, Manu Ginobili still there, Pau Gasol, Danny Green, Kawhi Leonard, Patty Mills, Tony Parker. I'm pretty sure he's done. Not sure. I don't know. I don't know too much about basketball. Tyrone definitely knows more than me. But all those players are definitely really good players. Definitely a team that will make the playoffs and probably a top 4 team in the West, maybe even top 3. And then coming from the East, you got the Heat, who have Chris Bosh, whose health is definitely a concern. But you got Unitas Haslam, you got Johnson, you got some very good players. They got Dion Waiters, definitely a really good guard. You got Winslow, definitely a really good player. Whiteside, one of the best centers in the league, if not the best. Just all around, really good players. They're looking around, they're trying to find their new star, their new identity, their new team, their new player to go around, because for the past 8 to 10 years, it's always been Dwayne Wade. Obviously, you had that stretch where some people were going with LeBron, but Dwayne Wade has definitely been a huge player in that. Now, the last set of games is Monday, and that's going to be Halloween night. Definitely the boringest day of games. I'm not going to lie to you. Definitely really boring. And I'm going to talk about 2 teams I haven't talked about, and that is Phoenix Suns versus the LA Clippers. Now, I don't think the Suns will be able to get this victory. They don't have too many good players. Dragan Bender, he's okay. Haven't really seen him yet. He's coming over from a different country. He's not yet used to the NBA. Brandon Knight, a pretty good player. Devin Booker, he'll also help out. Eric Bledsoe. Some really young, good players, but I do not think they will be able to get the victory. And I don't think they will be able to beat the Clippers, because I think the Clippers are going to be pretty good this year. I mean, they have some really good players. Jamal Crawford, I think, will definitely step up and be the number 2. And I think Chris Paul running the number 1 is definitely going to be huge. I think JJ Redick, he'll also help. He might play the 2. You got Paul Pierce, coming off the bench if you need any veteran experience. You got DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin. All around, you got a great team. I think they will play really good. I think they'll have great representation in the West. Maybe the 5 or 6 seed. Definitely a great team, though. It's definitely going to be scary to see who the 2 through 6 is in the West. I do think the Warriors have already secured the #1 seed. But it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens in the NBA, especially for the next upcoming weeks. We'll probably have a definite, probably definitely know who the real teams are by Christmas or so. And in that time, I'm definitely going to want to watch out for some players, how they play. Definitely want to see how the Warriors are doing. A lot of people are talking about them. Definitely one of the best teams in the NBA for this upcoming year. They're definitely probably one of, if not the scariest teams. Could make a case for Cleveland, but I still have the Warriors as the scariest team in the NBA. You know, they got one of the best players in the league in Steph Curry. You also got, I say they got 3 top 10 players and 4 top 20 players. Draymond Green being the top 20. I think he could even be top 15. Top 10, you guys already saw. You know, Steph, Clay, and KD, all around great players. But in case you guys didn't know, LeBron has been on a couple of really good teams. Kobe has been on a couple of really, really good teams. MJ was on really, really good teams. And not all of them were able to win the championship, you know. I mean, last year, the Warriors had 2 of the top 10 players, 3 of the top 20, arguably top 15. And they were unable to win the championship because of LeBron and Kyrie. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see. A huge thing for the Cavs to be able to win this year in the championship is if Kevin Love is able to play really good. I think the Cavs will easily win the NBA championship if Kevin Love goes on a hot streak. Yes, you are hearing me correctly. I don't care who the Warriors have. If Kevin Love is able to go on a hot streak, and you also have Kyrie, because Kyrie's always played good in the playoffs, and so has LeBron. LeBron's always played great in the playoffs. And I think if all 3 of them go on a hot streak, it's over. Because Steph has never really played amazing in the playoffs. He's always played really good in the regular season, but not that good in the playoffs. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and write a comment down below on what you would like to see next. It's your boy Pickdroppers, and I'm out. Peace!